Welcome to RADA's number 21 crown prep tutorial. We hope you guys enjoy the video we put together for you. So the first thing we're going to start with here is the buckle reduction. We take the chamfer burr here that you see here, it's a millimeter chamfer burr, and we're going to sink it a full millimeter into the buccal surface of the tooth.
So we want to follow the inclination of the cusp, get an incline, so we sink the burr from the middle of the tooth to the cusp to sink 1 millimeter in. It goes our RADA pin.
We then extend the preparation distally as well as mesially. Now that we've planed the buccal surface of the tooth, we're ready to create our margin. To be safe, we want to keep it 1 millimeter above the gingiva. Just like we did for the buccal plane reduction, we are going to sink our burr 1 millimeter in at the margin and begin our preparation. Now, with gentle brushing strokes, as you can see here, we extend the preparation distally, and then we're going to extend the same thing mesially.
Making sure that you always keep that burr parallel.
It's important to stay parallel and to not over taper or create any undercuts. In order to do that, remember to keep your burr, that's your burr, perpendicular to the occlusal plane, and keep your handpiece parallel to that. That's a common test question. It's also important, as you can see here, it's a little bit of a trick actually, is to keep the burr parallel to this angle that's created on your typonauts.
The same way without moving. So here, we don't want any gaps in between. No downward. Just playing over it. Yep.
So as you can see here, after we've prepped our buccal margin, we're now using gentle brushing strokes to prep the distal. We're going to do the same thing as you'll see later on the mesial after we break contact.
Just playing it right now, and then just playing the angle again. Making sure that it's sticking out from the canine.
Now when you look at the preparation from the occlusal, you want the cusp tip of the canine to be in line with the new cusp tip position of your preparation as seen here. So we drill as much away from the mesial as we can without touching that contact. Now to drill off the contact, we switch to the flame burr as you can see here, and you gently, once again with brushing motions, you're going to take off that contact as seen in the video. The flame burr is the safest way to create space for you to create your margin there in the mesial without the risk of nicking the adjacent tooth. Now that the contact is safe, we once again match it up to the angle or perpendicular to the occlusal plane, and very carefully not to nick number 22, we work our way around the mesial surface of the tooth. It's very important to change positions when you're doing the lingual surface, or any surface for that matter, that wherever you're comfortable is what really matters here. So for the lingual surface, you can change position so that you sit behind on the lingual here, and you have easy access once again to the lingual surface. And here, as you can see, we're sinking the burr another millimeter into the lingual surface of the tooth, and then we are just going to recreate our margin, joining up with the depth that we have created, the axial depth. Here's a good example of how a right-handed person should sit when drilling the lingual surface. Very comfortable. Notice the good finger rest we have. You can also rest your right elbow on the bracket table, just for convenience. And perfect amount of visibility here to attain a perfect margin. And here we're just refining our margin. Notice once again, just a gentle form and gentle brushing motion we're using to create the margin. After you have finished your margin, it's sometimes recommended to use a friction grip slow speed to just go over all the areas and make sure there's no bumps and everything is perfectly flush. So this whole time we've been using a 1mm chamfer burr. If you may notice, we've switched to a little bit of a wider burr here so that we can create 1.5mm margin on the buccal surface, going right to the mesial right about there, and the same amount on the distal so that we have enough room for porcelain. Everywhere else is perfectly fine to use a 1mm chamfer to create the perfect margin you need for the crown. Because the angle is right there, we always come back to it just to make sure that we're never deviating off the path, off the line of draw. Now we're going to take down the occlusal surface. We want a 2mm reduction on number 21. We're going to take any burr that works here, whether it be a football or a chamfer or a shoulder burr, and we're going to put it along both cusps, buccal and lingual, and reduce them together. After we have done that, we're going to reduce each cusp individually, touch it up, and afterwards be ready to polish.
Portion, we're reducing the lingual portion of it. A little lingual portion and then buckle, so we just want to plane everything to get a little one any ledges. Anything like that. And then we plane all the corners.
So now we're ready to polish. You can either use a green or yellow polishing cup. Remember that the green one cuts a little bit more than the yellow. It does cut tooth structure, so be careful. And you pretty much just go at every surface. What you can use for the mesial surface here is a polishing strip to go into proximally, and that will get you a nice clean polished surface. And graders always appreciate that. Here's our final product, and we hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.